what's up? My name is Alexis Forge. I am a senior at Northrop High School, and I'm 18 years old. And this September, actually all Septembers are Suicide Prevention Month, so the color of the month is yellow, actually. I'm in Miss Mankin's film group, and I did a video over suicide prevention. I did it to show people that we had a community of others who also felt the same way that you felt before, and to show that there are other people out there who aren't alone, to show you that you're not alone. In the making of this video, I learned a lot about some of the people who were closest to me, and that showed a lot of character, and it was really exciting because I know that I've gone through a lot of stuff by myself, and I would never wish that upon anybody else. Upon making this video, I asked people some very personal questions that I'm also going to answer myself. I'm going to answer them right here, while the rest of the video is more cut up, for each question. I have struggled with suicide. I have never attempted suicide. I have struggled with self-harm, though, a lot. And you're not alone. You're not the only person going through the same struggle. You're never alone. You always have someone to talk to. And if you ever feel alone and you ever feel like that suicide is your best option, please just talk to someone. Anyone. Like my name is Alexis Forge. Like, I can be found almost anywhere. And I'm always willing to talk to somebody, or talk to like anyone who's struggling with issues. Like, come to me. I will gladly listen. I hope that people are always comfortable coming to me, and like, I'll always listen, and I'll never judge you, and I'll never show you that you're stupid for thinking about suicide. That's not what the target of this video is. I want to show you people that suicide is a real thing, and we are here to talk about it, and we are here to prevent it. And there's always a better way out there, and I hope that you find comfort in finding that way. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video.
Hello, my name is Dante Lowry. I'm the guidance coordinator here at Northrop High School. This is my very first year here at Northrop.
Hi, I'm Madison Starnes. I'm 17 years old, and I am a senior.
I'm Hannah Archie. I'm 17 years old, and I am a senior at Northrop High School.
My name's Savannah, and I am 17, and I'm a senior.
Alright, I'm Michael. I'm a sophomore, and I'm 15.
Okay, question one. As a counselor, what are your thoughts on suicide?
My thoughts are that when those situations arise, we want our students to be well equipped and well prepared for information regarding suicide. So if you have a friend or someone who is contemplating suicide, we as a guidance department would like to know that particular information so we can take appropriate action for those particular students.
My thoughts on suicide. I know that everyone in their life at some point, they struggle with something, and I don't think it's a solution. I feel like it's really just a generic response. Like, it's really corny to just say, like, that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, but that's really true. That's not something that, especially at this age, it's like, it's a frequent thing that shows up with, people in high school and whatnot. And, you have so much more time ahead of you to just, cut it off at this age.
Have you yourself in this time or earlier in life ever struggled with suicidal thoughts?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I have before.
Yes.
In the process of suicidal thoughts, what advice do you wish to hear?
I think the advice that I would give myself, because it's different when somebody else is trying to tell you something, but when you would rather hear it like from yourself, I don't know if any of that makes sense.
I would just say that everything's okay, but I know a lot of people say that, so it gets overplayed out. But I mean, just to have someone really look at you and say you'll be okay is good to feel if you're in that type of mood.
Just I want someone to tell me that, oh, you can handle it, I know who you are, I know you're strong enough to do this, and that you can make it through it.
What advice as a counselor do you give students who are struggling with suicidal thoughts?
The advice that I routinely give is I think everybody has a purpose. I don't care what walk of life you come from, everybody can bring something to the table. And I think it's up to friends, neighbors, whoever, school, all school officials to get those students to tap into their hobbies or things that make are positive for them, so they can have a successful life.
Okay, so advice that I would give people. I would just tell them to think about one thing that they enjoy, and I would just tell them to focus on that wholeheartedly, and then hopefully,
Like I said before, it's, it's a permanent solution to temporary problems. So, everyone's been at some point, feeling like they have nothing for themselves. Like, like there's just nothing else. They get to a certain point in their life and they feel like they just have nothing else for them. And like I said, it's really generic just to say, but there is so much more time to figure out things for yourself and figure out what you want to do and, figure out what's better for you. And it's like when you commit suicide, you're kind of just cutting off any opportunity you have to really grow as a person and really change yourself. And so, you want to figure out what's good for you instead of just ending it.
I would just say that there's always a better side of a dark story or situation, and you really just have to look at the positive side instead of always being negative, because there is a good, even though you feel sad and deep down inside, there is a better place somewhere.
Just try to talk to somebody that you actually trust, like you actually honestly trust. That's what I did. Just talk to somebody you actually trust and actually talk to, because, or someone that understands you the most, because they're the ones that can give you the best advice.
What kind of coping mechanisms do you recommend for those who deal with self-harm?
Definitely coping mechanisms to deal with self-harm. Journaling, to me, is a great coping mechanism, because it takes it away from actually doing the self-harm. So writing about your thoughts and writing them down on paper and maybe reviewing those thoughts, I think is a great way to cope. The other one is talking with your closest friend or someone that you confide in. So having those conversations also will help with that as well.
So I write, but I know that people who are like cutting or something, they write or they draw on the area that they would cut or something, and then I don't know.
Mine was drawing and music. I really focused towards music because I felt like it wasn't my words, but it felt real to me.
Or for yourself personally?
For me, I usually just I try not to, but I drown other people out. I try not to, but sometimes that just hurts you even more. Or sometimes I just do something I know that helps me relieve my stress, or whatever you want to call it.
What do you think most kids' triggers are?
In today's world, a lot of times kids' triggers are social media and social peer pressure. So that's why I'm saying, because with friends has become such a community, it is really up to friends and relatives and whatnot to let us know when a student is getting into a situation, to try to help them so they don't lead them down that suicidal path.
Is it safe to ask a person who is struggling with suicidal thoughts if they're harming themselves?
Yes, it is. I think it is safe to ask, especially if you can see signs of them self-harm with any type of marks or anything like that. I think it's appropriate to ask.
I don't know, that's a tricky one because sometimes you can tell that they are, and like just the characteristics that they have. And it depends on who you're talking to, because sometimes there's kids who are like would take offense to asking if they are hurting themselves, and then other kids would think of it as they care. It just depends on people.
I feel like that could go one of both ways because asking certain people about certain things can kind of be a trigger for people sometimes, but also it's nice to know that someone cares and nice to know that there's reassurance from someone, that is asking you if that's something that you're thinking about, because hopefully if they're asking you about it, that's something that they want to prevent from you. And I know that in most instances, if you ask someone before they can do something, they won't do it.
I think it depends on the person. I think it is okay to ask so you know and you can get them the help that they need, or to let them know that they have someone to talk to if they need it.
If it gets to the point to where it's like really serious, you probably should. But like try to be cautious when you do it because some people just don't want to talk about it sometimes. Sometimes it's just you got to be cautious of their boundaries.
Where do you see yourself in 2 to 5 years?
2 years. I would say in college. Hopefully Purdue, but I don't know. 5 years. I don't know. That's a long time.
I hope that 2 to 5 years I'll probably still be in college, but that's another thing is that you want to see a future for yourself, and that's you want to build a future for yourself so you have something to look forward to.
I see myself in college doing well, having my life together, I guess.
Hopefully just out of high school with my diploma, trying to find something to do with the rest of my life.
Are you happy to be alive?
I am. I'm very happy to be alive. Like I said, this is my first year here. A very tall individual, so I can see a lot of things and I get a lot of attention from people, and so it's up to me to establish relationships with any student, whether I don't care where you come from, and that's the part of my job that I enjoy every day is making those connections with those students.
To be alive.
Yeah.
Yes, very happy. I've met so many people throughout these years, from starting in high school, all that, and I'm really glad that I kept living.
Are you happy to be alive?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.